Hey folks, welcome back. I'm just here to finish up with my Chinese elm from yesterday. Finished up a good bit of work out in the garden this morning, so I want to make sure that I am taking time to finish what I've started here. It's okay to have a little break, but we really need to make sure that everything gets done on this tree more or less at the same time. If you watched yesterday's stream, we tackled the first half of the tree, as well as some weeding, and we're going to get the second half of the pruning done today. I'm expecting to be hanging out for about an hour or so, but yeah. So, like yesterday, I'm going to start thinking about where it would be helpful to cultivate a branch. But I am going to be coming back and cutting pretty hard to 2 leaves on all of my shoots so that we can set up some good bifurcation in the areas we've decided to keep our branching. Down here, a branch had already been removed. I'm going to keep on top of just snipping the little sacrifice buds that are coming out here. Oh, hey, and it looks like somebody's actually here right now. Sorry about that, I just got the chat pulled up, didn't realize I didn't have it. Hope you're having a good day. You staying busy in your garden, I hope? Well, let's shoot here. Okay. What's going on in this area? Okay, so it looks like over here it didn't really grow so much after I pruned earlier in the season. It's all right. There's plenty of crotch growth though that took off and responded. As well as a good push of growth around that wound. Okay, got some crotch growth. Now, by getting all of these little weak interior shoots out, we're helping the tree not to waste resources on growth we ultimately don't want. We want to try and maximize what we're going to get out of the stuff we keep. But I'm still just coming through pruning to 2 to 3 leaves. And where I start to have side branching coming off, I want those branches to alternate what side they're coming off of. Got some crotch growth there. Take that in. And if you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Oops. This has been allowed to die back. That have pushed. That had been allowed to die back. Getting good. Okay. Now down here, one thing I want to think about is this branch is kind of coming out of the bottom of a fork, so that's not so ideal. But looking at the other shoots that have popped up in this junction, they're a lot less worth investing in. So when I do wire this up at a later time, trying to work on that line a little bit is going to be a priority. The nice thing about this is it really is just repetitive busy work, but by staying on top of it over time, it really just starts to look, let's call it well maintained. But we let it grow out in between the prunings, so it helps to thicken everything up when we do cut it back. When we let all of these little shoots push, it just concentrates more sugars and nutrients in that spot. Okay, got some serious editing to do through here. Let's see. Gonna take this all the way back to this bud. Shorten that to 2. Shorten to 2. I've been allowed to die back. Shorten to 3 so that bud's going to be oriented on the outside. I can actually make that cut. And I'll have to die back. I actually think I should swap to the other scissors. These aren't quite doing the job. They need to be sharpened. Prune to 2. No point to even keep anything growing out of the bottom of this branch. Okay, then I'm going to prune to 2, prune to 2, watch growth, prune to 3, prune to 2, prune to 2, die back, bottom growth, there we go, that's feeling a lot nicer. Prune to 2, do y'all actually have a good view of this? I'm doing my best here. I hope so. Okay, and then there we go. Still feels like there's some editing that needs to be done, so get that shoot out of there. Which opens up this shoot I wasn't even seeing. Shorten that. Get some of this stuff out of that inside curve. Oops. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Okay. I feel like this little pad's feeling a lot nicer. Let's see, can we turn that a bit so I don't see it at all? Tragic. Well, here's that pulled down. You can see it's nice and neat, has lots of, like it's really tight to itself. Over time, I'll be able to start developing primary, secondary pads out of this. But for right now, I'm just trying to keep those internodal spacing as nice and compact as I can, which will also help with keeping the leaves nice and compact. Okay. Just kind of working with what's easily accessible here. This was allowed to run long earlier in the season, but it snapped in the wind. I think it'll make kind of a cool line if it actually heals up well. So I'm just pruning it back. I've got kind of two shoots over this way, but I kind of want to see what that damaged branch looks like down the road. I personally like embracing that sort of mechanical damage that a tree has sustained over its life and sort of just incorporating it into its story. Looks like there's quite a few people here. If you've got any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just kind of rambling a bit. Stoked to have you all here, though. Oh, thank you, Leon. Yeah, so I've had this tree about 3 years now. Up until this year, my main goal with it has really been kind of propagating it. It had gotten really leggy before I got my hands on it. So I was trying to, look at the branching that was there and see what had some potential if I could just get it off the tree, compact it down a bit. But I got a few from that process, and so now I'm trying to really start working this as sort of its own tree instead of just as a mother. Because I've been able to get some good backbutting over the last few years. Weak interior growth, bottom growth, dieback. Room to 2. Hey, so looks like there's a couple people here. I'm just coming through and keeping up with some of the scissor work on this tree. Weak interior growth. Room to 2. Room to 2. Room to 2. If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to chat with you. But I just thought it'd be fun to set up the camera and show some of the busy work I get to keep up with. It's kind of hard finding time to maintain my own trees with getting to help out with some collections around town. But, you know, I am trying to put a lot of effort into this channel, and so I figured instead of recording and trying to edit later, I would try just going live from time to time, and really having the chance to interact a little bit more. So thanks for being a part of this journey with me. Much appreciated. Put two. Bottom growth. Print to 2. Print to 2. Okay. I think that's feeling a lot nicer than it was when we first started. Not too much more to go here, really just kind of this portion of the crown. Oh, that's not true. Over this way, looks like there's some crotch growth I missed. Cool. Let's see if I can spin this a hair. Okay. So, looks like there's a few people hanging out with me. Can I ask, do y'all practice bonsai, or are you just kind of scrolling through YouTube? Either way, it's nice to have some folks here. I'm happy to chat with you, but yeah, I'm Jamie, and this is my awesome little tree, just trying to keep up with it. Oh, okay, that's got to be addressed. I'm gonna need my concave cutter. I've got just like a really weird crotch growth there. Okay. To 2 leaves. Bottom growth. Print to 2. Print to 2. Print to 2. Crotch growth. Two. I'm gonna call that bottom growth. That's not worth keeping. Okay. Print 2. Print 2. So one big benefit of coming through and doing this is it's going to let more light and air into the crown. And this tree's been having some fungal issues, so that'll kind of help me combat that while I work on starting a fungicide treatment. Print 2. When the leaves get all kind of crowded and no light gets in there, everything just stays really wet and damp and invites all sorts of critters to set up shop. So this helps to make things a little less hospitable for the fungi, the bugs, all that stuff that we don't want in the tree. that crotch growth. Oh, that feels so much better. Some dieback. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Actually, I'm gonna call that bottom growth. Prune to 2. And 2, okay. That looks good. Oh, it still feels a bit crowded, so I'm gonna take this interior shoot out. Okay. Feels a little better, but I'm gonna do a little more. Just feels a little crowded in there. Okay. Yeah, so I do feel kind of silly sometimes working bonsai and, just kind of moving all around the tree, but peeking from different angles really helps you kind of get your head up in there and see what's what. Probably got some crotch growth I missed. Seems so obvious just a second ago. But more crotch growth growing there. Then prune to 2 leaves. Prune to 2 leaves. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Two. Crotch growth. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna spin this a bit. Okay, that's growing straight down. Inside of the curve. Prune to 2. Weak interior growth. Okay, be careful with that. Brick's still healing. Prune to 2. Bottom growth. Prune to 2. Notch growth. And in case there's any non-bonsai people hanging out with me today, when I'm mumbling about crotch growth, what I'm looking at is like these forks. And if there's, if that was a much closer union and there was a sprout coming out of there, that's what we don't want. It contributes to something we call reverse taper. It's a little bit of an eyesore. So the earlier we can kind of target that and its development, the less of an issue it will be. And hey, Bonsai SV, thanks for joining. Hope you're having a great day. Gonna take that in a little further. That's got all sorts of shapes. Okay. 1 to 2. 2. Weak interior growth. 1 to 2. Okay. Trying to figure out the best way to let y'all kind of see what I'm doing and get this closer to my face. I think we can make that work. But yeah, wrapping up here. But the nice thing about bonsai is it can be done just in small spurts daily. And they make for great moments just to kind of reset yourself from the stress of the day. Because it's very hard to be stressed out when you're working on a tree, I have found. I think that's why so many of us appreciate the art so much. It's kind of contemplative in its own being. This is going to make a really nice pad when it is more developed. You know, y'all can't see it, but there's some crazy bifurcation through here. Bonsai SP, can I ask what you use for your turntables? Because mine is a motorcycle lift that I bolted like a big wooden round to. But I'm just curious what they use out your way. I feel like around here I see lots of like motorcycle lifts and what do you call them? Barber chairs? No. Crotch growth. 2. Crotch growth. 2. Okay. I'm sorry, I know it's bad form to reach across the camera, but unfortunately, taking care of the tree is priority. Lucky I let y'all watch. Haha. Die back. Where'd you go? Oh gosh, I just had tunnel vision, completely lost what okay. Crotch growth. That one was in a weird spot. 2. crotch growth. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Inside of the curve. Prune to 2. Whew. Okay. Home stretch here. Now, I think I have a little bit more time I could hang out today. I have a Japanese maple that I need to do some pruning on. Would y'all like me to go grab that? Or do you think this is a good place to call it? I'll leave it up to the chat's hand. Crotch growth. Crotch growth. Prune to 2. Like interior growth. Prune to 2. Dieback. Oops. And a little bud. Darn. Prune to 2. Interior shoot. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. And bottom growth. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of take a step back from this tree and see how it looks, if there are any spots I should come back to. Give me just 1 second. Stepping away from the tree really helps with some of the tunnel vision you can kind of get when you're right up on it. So, for instance, I appear to have completely missed a section there in the back, but I see that now. So, just gonna spin her around. Okay, hopefully y'all can see this a bit. Now that's a trick my teacher taught me. He really swears by it. In particular, he likes to step away and look at trees through a camera. Just because something about like a screen helps call attention to like the balance of negative space in a composition. And you know, just being a little bit further away, your eye will or won't notice some stuff that it had previously. To 2. Two. So, okay, shoot selection, that one's straight up. And that one's crotch growth. Beautiful. And now we'll have a nice clean fork in this pad. Prune to 2. Crotch growth. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Weakened. And some weak interior growth. Okay, that's looking, no, that's that one. That. And then back here. And weak interior growth. Okay. So, I think I'm pretty much done with the scissor work on this tree. Looks like there's a couple people hanging out. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to chat with you. We could end it here, or I could go grab a Japanese maple to work on. Do you guys have any preference? You know, as funky as it is, I don't think I can keep that bad. It'll be fine with wire. Okay, well, doesn't seem to be any answer from the chat, so I think I'll call it here for the day. It was an absolute pleasure working with you guys. I hope you have a good one.